wait about 2 minutes here because I know we still have people popping on, and then I'll share with you guys an awesome update that you're going to be excited about. And then we're going to just, I'm going to see who else we have on here. But if you guys want to, again, man, just as you're popping in, guys, go into the Zoom chat and just tell me where you guys are actually dialing in from. I'll be able to see that on the chat. I know, okay, we got Orange, Texas. Welcome. I know we've had people on some of the past calls. They've been going to the Telegram group and typing it in, but you guys can actually hit it right here if you want to. Probably just out of pure habit. Let me see. Yep. Just out of pure habit, people have already gone into the Telegram group and started putting in Texas, Florida, Mississippi, Boynton Beach, Connecticut, West Texas, Australia. So Kansas, I'm seeing in the chat group, but you guys can put it into the chat as well if you want to. Zoom chat should not be disabled, Tony. It should allow you to send a message directly to me in the chat. I can actually see them because I've had some people already going there, but I see Virginia and Birmingham all popping in the chat. Scotland, nice. Welcome. Western Pennsylvania, Texas again. And so, okay. And then Charlie O says it is disabled on his, which is weird that some people can get into the chat, some people can't. But I'm seeing you guys on the Telegram as well as in the chat. I'm seeing people. So welcome, guys. And I'm going to give it here just about 60 more seconds as well. SoCal, welcome. And give it about 60 more seconds. And then we'll actually get started. Topeka, Kansas, welcome to the call. So it is disabled for some people. And then it says, but not for other people, which is weird. So, okay. All right, man. And that was and Sebring, Florida. Welcome, my God. All right, guys. So give me, okay, got about Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish Mafia. I love it. First of all, love Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Love Amish bakeries. Go down to Reading Terminal here, down in Philadelphia. So that's pretty awesome. But it's all good, man. Guys, so here we go, guys. Let's kind of get started here. What time is it? Okay, 9:03. So I want to be responsible, and also I also want to make sure always that everyone is we're respectful of everyone's time. Mark is actually on, but he will not be speaking tonight. Just had some dental work today. So anybody who knows that once you get dental work, probably the last thing you want to do is speak, and you want to make sure you're going to heal up. So he won't be on here. I'm not going to keep you guys very long tonight, but I do want to get to, first of all, the most critical thing. So I did talk to Dave Track over the weekend. We spoke again today, and I want to tell everybody on here that he talked to the auditing company. They will be able to actually get onto our audit of our contract. They told him this morning they'll be able to get onto our contract first thing on Wednesday. The expectation is, just from a quick overview, because we're just talking about the token, and which is not rocket sciencey, if you will. It should not be a very long process at all. Normal auditing process time for them is 1 to 3 days. When we're talking about things far more complex and complicated than probably what we presented them, but they believe that they'll be able to, not they believe, they promise that they'll get on it first thing Wednesday, and because of the simplicity of it, this could be a very, very short process. And so Dave's I want you guys to listen out for sure. We'll probably get him on a call here this week, but also he is as excited and as exuberant as I am, and as many of you are. And I know some of you probably find that hard to believe, because I know some of you guys have been chomping at the bit for a long time, and you're like, man, let's go. I'm ready. So it's hard for you to believe that somebody else could be excited, but trust me, he is as we all are, super fired up about this. So what we're looking at is the moment that they call back with the okay, like, hey, we looked over it. It's all good. We, stamp of approval kind of thing. We're going to go into, Dave's going to go into the Telegram and let everybody know that. And then at that moment, we're going to say, okay, hard date. Now, Dave, he gets it. If Wednesday afternoon they come back and say it's all good, knowing Dave, he'll say, hey, man, we could probably go in an hour, but we promise we're not going to do that to anyone. I know that has been a fear. I've heard from so many of you over the weekend. Try, down in Virginia, moving my daughter back into school. But I got a lot of calls and just a lot of people asking the same exact question. How much lead time are we going to get, right? Because people are nervous. Everybody thinks they're going to miss it, like we're going to do it while they're on a plane or something like that. And so I'm not guaranteeing we're not going to do it while you're on a plane, but we are going to give you some lead time. We're not going to say, okay, the auditor approved it 15 minutes ago. We're launching in 15 minutes. Hopefully you're ready. We know that's not fair, and we want to do a fair launch. But it is going to be, I think I told you guys that launch is imminent. Launch is imminent. It is something that is about to happen. So, we are excited, and I know a lot of you are. So hopefully that's the most up-to-date information that I have about that, which is they did tell us today, Wednesday, we're going to get on your contract, and we don't expect it to be a long audit process. So that is where we are with that. So what does that mean? I know some of you right now probably, does that mean we could go to Thursday? Can we go Friday? As soon as they come back and say it's complete, we will give you a hard launch date, just like that. No hesitation, no nothing. So as soon as they say it's good to go, we're going to say, boom, it's good to go. Let's do this in this period. Personally, I would love to give you guys 24 to 48 hours. It's something that we're going to talk about here with Dave on our meeting tomorrow as well. But just exactly how we're going to do it. But we do want to give people, again, some level of lead time. I know a lot of you have to organize your teams and get your webinars going and line up the jets, if you will. Make everything happen that way. So again, man, just kind of this is a critical moment for us, though, and I'm excited. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you guys. The second thing is simply this. I mean, I know there are some new people here as well. So I am gonna, in a moment, just give you a little bit of background. If somebody invited you here and said, "Hey, you got to hear about this thing, Sosana, it's about to go," get on here. They'll give you a little bit of a background. I promise you guys, I will do that as well for you. But the other thing I want to say is this: Mark put together, Mark Ross, who is the co-founder of Sosana. Again, for those of you who don't know, who are here brand new, Mark Ross put together a great short video on Sosana's YouTube channel, showing you exactly how you're going to get the contract and then use that contract address to be able to swap or buy Sosana tokens or swap from Solana to Sosana tokens. So if you have not watched that yet, I know it just came up about 3 days ago, I believe it was. And last time I looked at it wasn't that long ago. There were a little over 400 views, but which means there's probably thousands of people who still haven't seen it yet. So I just want to say, man, as leaders, don't assume that your people have seen it. Please, guys, just spend this next couple of days making sure that everybody has a few things. One, their Phantom wallet. Two is they have the amount of Solana loaded and stocked in their Phantom wallet and ready to go that they want to use to get into the Sosana project on day one, minute one, second one, whatever. I guess it depends on how fast their fingers are. Make sure they're doing their fast finger exercises too, as well. But also make sure they watch that video. I've gotten some calls today where people have, said, "Hey, man, I'm just, I'm kind of unclear how I'm still trying to figure out how to download a Phantom wallet, things of that nature." So again, we have all those videos up there. Of course, we also have this incredible thing called YouTube itself, where you really can find out how to do anything you want to, especially how to get a Phantom wallet, etc. But guys, just let's not assume that everybody knows how to do these things. We've got a lot of excited people from around the world who are excited about this project, more excited they've been about anything in a long time, but they're not all necessarily crypto people. That this is kind of viraling out, which is why we're so excited about it. So don't assume that everybody understands how to do everything just because they're excited about the project. Just as leaders, let's make sure they're all lined up, ready to go. The reason why I say this, it's beneficial to all of us in the community, right? You want to see the biggest explosion possible on day one, because it's going to create a big, massive story. And that story, for those of you who have been around for a while, man, it's all about, we say facts tell, but stories sell, right? It's all about that story of what we're going to be able to do in that first 24 to 48 hours that will actually carry some incredible excitement for us and really get the buzz out, have us start ending up, quite organically on some podcasters' podcasts and shows and things like that. Some influencers who are always looking for the new hot projects are probably going to pick us up on the wire just quite organically, not to mention some of the marketing stuff that we'll do. But if you think about this, riding from wave to wave, we take that and we take that incredible story, we ride that about what's happening, about how fast this token has kind of come out of the gate and what it's meant for some people. And then we ride that directly into here just a little bit of time down the road where we're launching out with the utility as well as with the affiliate program. And you have a whole nother wave, right? Because I know a lot of you guys have been lining yourselves up, going out there and setting up with the affiliate program. So that's a whole nother wave of, as Mark always talks about, buy pressure that is then going to come into the project. And again, we're not allowed to make guarantees, and we always want to be careful about exactly how we say things. Sometimes we get excited. I know you guys get excited and you say stuff that you truly, truly believe, but you say it, even though you're saying what you truly believe. Some people take that as a statement of absolute fact, even though none of us actually really know the future. And now we can get ourselves in some type of trouble. So we always want to be careful how we're saying things. And I want to be clear to you guys to tell you right up now, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know the future, but I believe very strongly that what's about to happen for I would say everybody that's on this call, right, that actually joins us here in the beginning, as well as for so many other people who maybe haven't even heard about Sosana yet, but they're going to hear about it from some excited people like some of you at the very beginning. I believe that what's about to happen is going to be life-changing. And that is, I don't say that very often. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of you guys have. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been excited about stuff that may have worked and some other stuff that didn't pan out. But I just look at the elements, and this is really what it comes down to for me is, I've had so many people now approach me and call me about Sosana who are not normally crypto people. Right? They're not normally crypto people, but they've heard about Sosana. Either I told them about it or they heard about it from someone who knows I'm a part of the project, and they say, "Oh, I know Brian. Let me call him. And they've started asking me about it. And I mean, I've gotten some really which are basic questions from a crypto perspective, but not basic questions from people outside of crypto, which is why do you believe that Sosana is going to be a huge play? Why do you believe there's going to be this is going to be a massive run and an incredible project that's going to last for a long time? And why do you believe that that ultimately it's smart to get in early and that there's going to be positive price movement? Like what actually makes you believe that? Or better yet, why is it that some tokens go up and other tokens don't go up? Just really not understanding how this actually works. And so I'm going to, again, say this again to you guys, especially for those of you who are new. Again, people are always asking man, can you guarantee? And again, we're not allowed to. It's not that we're trying to be squirrely and skirt around the issue or whatever. We're simply not allowed to. It's actually considered to be illegal, right? So it's for us to make guarantees as being people who are in the project. It's so much easier for you guys just being some excited participants to talk to your friends and say, man, bro, I would somebody called me up and said, I would put my life on this, man. I'm telling you right now, I guarantee. And I said, I'm glad you feel that way. Keep that in, and fun, I wish you could bottle it up. Go share that with your people. But I can't say that. Mark can't say that. You know what I mean? Like Dave can't say that because we're going to be held by regulators to a different standard. So we can't make the guarantee. But here's what I can tell you. I can tell you that if you look at tokens that launch, and if you look at what it is that makes a token go up in general, right? It's simply, it's more buy pressure than sell pressure. That's all that it is, right? It's just, if you just think about natural supply and demand, this is not a rebase token. We can't just keep printing up as many tokens as we want. There is a limited supply of Sosana tokens, right? And about 50% of them are completely locked away for 6 months and for about 6 months. And then once that 6 month period hits, then they are on a rollout schedule, which means that all of the Sosana tokens, all 88,888,888, all of them will not be in total availability for 5 years from then, right? So 6 months of a cliff period, and then they start rolling out, little by little over a period every single month for the next 5 years. So that means we got to go far into the future before we have the 88 million and 888,000, et cetera, tokens available to everyone. So in the very beginning, there was a limited supply of tokens. And what you're going to have is this very limited supply. Even though 88 million, if you guys are from the crypto space, you know, that's still a small supply, right? When we have a total amount, but in the beginning, so many fewer tokens available, which means people are scrambling to get them. That's a lot of buy pressure, right? That means people are putting money in, saying, "I want to buy this asset. I want to acquire this token." Other people are have them and don't want to sell them right away. What the market does is simply says this. This is like the simplest thing to me to understand. And I don't know if this really works for you guys as a way of understanding it, but the market simply is looking for equilibrium. That's what it's always doing. And I'm not just talking about the market for crypto. I mean, the market for the stock market is the same way. It simply says that, hey, the price is this, right? The price or the offer is this. The offer is 10 cents for a Sosana token. And when they're offering 10 cents, a whole bunch of people are saying, great, I'll sell it for 10 cents, right? Then it equalizes at 10 cents. But if more people want to sell it at 10 cents than want to buy it at 10 cents, the price starts to go down. Okay, we got more sellers than buyers. Now the price is 9.5 cents. Now it's 9 cents. Now it's 8.5 cents, et cetera, until the price goes down low enough that the sellers say, no, I don't want to sell at that price. And then it comes down, it equals out again. And then if there's ever more buyers, it goes up. So buy pressure, sell pressure. That's all you have to think about is the market is looking for equilibrium. If there's more buyers than sellers, it will keep raising the price to entice the sellers to start selling. If there's more sellers than buyers, it will lower the price to basically entice people to stop wanting to sell as much, right? Which actually brings it down for equilibrium. What we're expecting, as you might imagine, right? When we first launched the token, there's going to be an incredible amount of buy pressure. Right. There's going to be a whole lot of people trying to buy a limited amount of tokens. And we have heard some incredibly huge numbers. And I'll just be honest with you guys, far bigger numbers than we saw involved with this project in the first place. Right. And people are talking about, and again, I'm not going to throw those numbers out. And I'm definitely not going to throw out, the people that are using those numbers, because it's probably not public business. I know they've shared some of the numbers with us, but they probably don't want us to share the numbers with everybody, not the specifics. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. We're talking about a lot of money, right? A lot of money that people are lining up to pour into the Sosana project at the very beginning. That, in our estimation, is a significant amount of buy pressure into this token. And as a result, again, can't make the guarantee, but if you just look at the dynamics of how the marketplace normally works, that should result in a positive incline or increase, in some cases potentially a dramatic increase, right, at the beginning of a token. And I know a lot of you understand that, and that's why you're excited, right? That's why you're like, man, I want to get in as early as possible, because if I can get it, I'll be happy if I can get the token for 3 cents, but I'll be happier if I can get it for 2 or for 1 or for a half a penny or whatever, right? Because you want to get as many as you want, right? If you got $1,000, $1,000 at 3 cents a token is better than is great, but not as good as $1,000 at 2 cents a token, right? So I get it. You guys want to get as many tokens as you can in the beginning. That said, right, I'm going to say this, and I said it last time I was on this call last week. Anybody that's on this call right now, anybody who hears about Sosana, I would say in the first 5 to 10,000 holders is incredibly early. Is incredibly early, because we are not looking at Sosana as this, and thankfully most of the core people in our community are the same way. We're not looking at Sosana as this short-term pump and dump. Hey guys, this is the next hot thing, man. You can get in, you can make some quick money, and then we'll just move on to the next one. That's kind of what Sosana is being created to solve, right? Is this fact that there's so many tokens that are launching all the time. On the surface, they all look the same. They all have cool names and cool token images and some great graphics. And, they all got a little story about them. And so as a result, unless you know what you're doing, you can't tell the difference between which ones are gold mines and which ones are landmines. And that's where a lot of people find themselves constantly in this confused period and confused space with regards to what's happening with tokens out there. So a lot of people are losing their shirts. I mean, for every single person that you hear that, got in on this token at the right time and made a fortune, and and we hear them. These stories are happening every day. There are literally people becoming millionaires in crypto almost every single day. And those numbers are going up. I think I told you guys last week that the numbers of millionaires, centimillionaires, and billionaires from cryptocurrency, those numbers are up 40% at the beginning of this year over the beginning of last year. So, and they're showing no chance of slowing down. So yes, people are getting not just rich, some people are getting flat out wealthy, through cryptocurrency. However, that said, for all of those people that are getting wealthy, there's a ton more people that are losing their shirts because they don't know what they're doing. They're simply throwing darts at a dartboard with a blindfold on, and they're hoping to get lucky. And, again, some people get lucky, but most of them, they say the problem isn't that you're aiming and missing. It's that the problem is you're hitting nothing. You're aiming at nothing and hitting it dead on every single time. And that's what people are doing. And I feel bad for them. So Sosana is a way to correct that. And we believe that as a result of the way that we're set up, the utility that we're going to bring to the market space, of the community of which many of you are already a part of that we've gathered together, this is going to be a very high market cap token in the future. We look at some of the tokens that have these, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in market cap. We look at the fact that most of them don't even have a utility. They don't have a story behind it. They don't have it, but still, it's like a cool name and people got excited about it and they just kind of aped in. And then because it was going up, more people jumped on, which made it go up even further. And now they have millions and millions of people who are excited about it. Sosana is going to be that token. That is really our passionate belief, except for one thing. It's going to actually do something, and it's going to have an engagement mechanism that is going to be very, very high through what we're doing with our DGen voter wallet system, and also what we're doing through our affiliate program, that we are going to be something that is going to be on the forefront of people's minds for years and years and years to come. And for those of you who are looking for a growth asset, something you can buy relatively inexpensively and have it in your portfolio and have it become very valuable. Again, you guys say, why does he keep saying it? It's because I don't want to be misquoted. I believe, and we believe passionately, and many of the people in our community believe passionately, this is going to be that thing. This is going to be one of the things that you're going to be really happy to be holding on to. And there are going to be a lot of people who are going to say to you, 6 months from now, man, I wish I was you. I wish I could have gotten this thing, at a couple of pennies, or at 5 cents, or at 10 cents, or at 50 cents, or at $1. Because man, when I look at what Sosana is worth right now, if I put $500 back in then, oh my God, I'd be done right now. So that's kind of what we're looking for. That's where all of our excitement comes from. For those of you that are brand new here for the very, very first time, and I just want to say to you guys, if you're brand new for the first time, we've got a lot of videos out, and I'm just going to go check the Telegram group here for a second. But we've got a whole lot of videos out, and by the way, man, this community is awesome, because I'm talking about the tutorial. I see the professor went in and dropped the link for it in the Telegram group as I'm talking about it, man. Just real-time stuff, man. I love the support here of the entire community and the team that we've assembled together. Thank you so much for doing that, sir. That's awesome. But I'll say this, man. Sosana at its core was an incredible idea that our CEO here, kind of, right, but we'd say project creator, because it's really not going to be that traditional structure. But anyway, our founder, Mr. David Track, started this concept about Sosana, shiny object syndrome, and nothing accomplished, right? Which was really just an homage, if you will, to all of those people out there that are just in permanent fear of missing out mode. Because there's so many tokens, literally hundreds and sometimes thousands of tokens being launched every single day, and everybody's just trying to find the next big thing. Man, whoa, this is exciting. I'll throw $100 here, and if this thing 10x's, in a week, I'll have $1,000. Or wait a minute, there's another one. Let me throw. And next thing you know, people have money all over the place, all spread out, and 99 times out of 100, they're absolute losers. In terms of the tokens they've gotten involved in, and then they're sitting there wondering what are they doing wrong, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's just, but right while they're in the midst of wondering that, they go and get into the next token that they hear about without understanding how to evaluate a token. How does it actually work? What is the determining factor, whether it goes up or goes down? What's the gold mine? What's the landmine, et cetera, et cetera. Sosana was created as an homage to those people because we've all been those people as well, right? This is not about people who are preaching to you that, oh my God, we've never made a mistake, or we've never been fear of loss, or we've never jumped into something and lost money, right? Everybody, the only way that's never happened to you is if you're just getting started. And if you're just getting started, oh my God, I wish I was you, right? What a cool thing to be that the very first project that you've heard of is Sosana. If that is really the case for you, you have no idea how blessed you are that the first project that you're ever hearing about in the crypto space is Sosana, man. Like you are, wow. I wish I could go back. I wish I could be you, right? And eliminate some of the side steps and missteps that I've taken personally, and that my friends have taken personally. I mean, we literally went to the school of hard knocks here in the crypto space. But here's what Sosana is doing. Okay, it's this incredible token. And again, even without a utility, it would be awesome, because it's cool and it's something that's funny and it's got it's got an amazing website, Sosana.io, and all these things. But here's where Sosana is going to be different. I just want to give you the core element of what a lot of people are very, very excited about. Core element number one is that we've got this whole system we're going to be doing as our utility. It's this degen voter system. And to understand that, just understand this, that Sosana is set up with a 3% tax, right? So if anytime somebody goes in and they say, I want to buy $100 worth of Sosana, right? There's going to be a 3% tax as an example. And it's not just on $100. It could be on $10 or $50 or whatever, but a 3% tax, a buy or sell tax. If you're buying it, you're selling it, transferring it, 3% tax. And those taxes will be separated into different wallets, 1% into we call it degen voter wallet, 1% into a marketing wallet that will ultimately be split up into for a couple of cool things, 1% to this stability wallet, that will go towards a bunch of things to help move the token forward, et cetera, et cetera. But the 1%, that 1% of it, that goes into the degen voter wallet is incredibly important, because here's how this is going to work. Everybody who holds $500 worth of Sosana. So if you're writing this down, you can just quick notes. If you're holding $500 or more of Sosana, you have the right every 2 weeks that we do that we're going through this voting process. Every 2 weeks, you have the right to nominate a token from the Solana network. So you're going to have the option to look at, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of projects on Solana network. You're going to find one that you believe, after your research, because maybe you're familiar with the development team, you've seen where this is going, the space that they're in, you know something about the technology, you've done your research, and you've narrowed down to say this token is a real up and comer. This is one that's going to make a huge difference in the crypto space. They're solving some big problems. They're doing this. They're doing whatever. And you can nominate that token if you have $500. If you're holding $500 more or more of Sosana. Now, once you nominate that token, we're gonna take up to 25 nominations in any voting cycle when we're starting off. So we could have up to 25 tokens that have been nominated. Now, anyone who's holding $50 or more of Sosana, so not a lot, $50, right? $50 or more of Sosana. Anyone holding $50 or more of Sosana, they're gonna have the ability, once we make those tokens known to the community, right? Hey, these are the ones that got nominated, right? Then they'll have the ability to vote. This is all done decentralized through a decentralized app. So nobody actually knows who's voting for what, not even us, right? This is actually completely done through a decentralized process, which is cool. But here's where it gets really exciting, because what we're going to do, remember, we were taking 1% of every single transaction is going into this wallet that's for our degen voter system. So let's say that we did $10 million in transactions, right, throughout this 2 week period of time, because it's going to happen every 2 weeks. 1% of 10 million is $100,000. So what that means is that we're going to let people vote on which token they believe is the best project. So they've got all these options, up to 25 options, and everybody who has $50 or more is going to be able to go in, connect their wallet, right? And through the app, be able to say, I think it's token 4, I think it's token 9, I think it's token 17, whatever. And, you know, and you get to do your research through the tokens and figure out of all these, which one's the best. And you want to do the best job you can finding the token that you want to vote for, because you want to vote for the winning token, right? Because if you vote for the winning token, here's what's going to happen. On Monday, at the end of the 2-week period, on Monday at 7 o'clock p.m., the app is going to show 2 things. One is that it's going to show which token actually won. So here we go. We did it all. It tallies it up, and then it releases it that the token that actually won was token number 4, you know, which is token XYZ. And we had 100 people vote for that token, right? So that's going to be the token that won. It's also going to show you how much money is in the DGen voter wallet, right? And let's say, again, in that example we just said, there's $100,000 that is in the DGen voter wallet. So the app is going to show you there's $100,000 in the DGen voter wallet. We have token number 4, token XYZ is the one that won, and there are 100 people who voted for that token. Well, and we don't know, we have our wallet addresses. So what's going to be cool is that 1 hour later, and here's the magic, guys. All right, we're getting this information at 7 o'clock, right? Now, the only people getting this information are the people who participated in the voting process. What does that mean? It means you could actually be a person who has Sosana tokens, but you did not participate in the voting process. So you are not getting this information at 7 o'clock, okay? I want you guys to understand this. You could be a person who has maybe a lot of Sosana, just didn't participate in the process. You're just some ancillary person from around the world who, you know, thought Sosana was cool and bought a bunch of Sosana tokens, or bought some Sosana tokens, but chose not to participate in the voting process. And you will not get this information at 7 o'clock, right? Or if you're just somebody else out in the world who doesn't even know who Sosana is, what Sosana is, clearly you're not getting this information at 7 o'clock. But everybody who participated in the voting process in the last 2-week period, they're all going to get the information at 7 o'clock, whether you won or not. Whether you won or not, write that down. Whether you pick the right token or not, you will be told what the winning token was, and you're also going to be told and see how much money is in the DGen voter wallet. And the reason why that is important, that you're learning this information at 7 o'clock, is because at 8 o'clock, 1 hour later, after you've gotten the information of what the winning token is and how much money is in the DGen voter wallet, in this example, $100,000, at 8 o'clock, the system will purchase $100,000 of XYZ token. It's going to purchase $100,000 of it. And it's going to purchase that $100,000 of that token so it can then airdrop. For those of you that are new to this space, just evenly divide that $100,000 worth of that token into the actual possession wallets, we call them, but possession of the 100 people who won. So $100,000, it's going to buy $100,000 of XYZ token. And in this example, because we had 100 winners, it's going to give $1,000 worth of XYZ token to every single one of those 100 winners. Now think about the power there before I go on it and we really get to where the magic really happens. The power there is that the people who won, they just had $50 in a dream, right? That's all. That's all they needed to have. Maybe they had a little bit, maybe they had more, but all they needed to have to participate was $50 worth of Sosana. And the thought process that when I say in the dream, because the dream was, man, if I go do my research and I really study this, I could actually pick the right token. That's you know, if everybody's doing their research and trying to figure out what the best one is, and I'm looking at the right things, I could actually pick the right token. And if I pick the right token with my $50 in a dream, I could get a pretty significant reward. In this case, in that example, that would be a pretty significant reward, right? They spent $50 to get Sosana. They went out. They did their research, right? They came back and they said, man, based off of my research, it looks like token number 4 is the right one. And boom, they got token number 4 right. And their reward is $1,000 worth of token number 4. Now, as you guys know, they could, if they wanted to, turn right around and take that $1,000 and they could cash it out. They could, right? and cash it out to whatever currency. They could flip it over and eventually into Bitcoin and then cash out Bitcoin, or they could whatever they wanted to do, right? So they could end up with $1,000 roughly minus some fees of cash in their hand if they wanted to. That would be a pretty good result from their $50 in a dream. However, if they thought about it really and they realized that what's just happened is rather than them have to go out to the thousands or tens of thousands of tokens that are out there and try to figure out on their own what is a solid token, they have now benefited from what I like to call crowdsourced intelligence, right? They now have an entire community of people. Let's say there's thousands and thousands of us in the beginning for that first vote in this example, who actually went out and there were tokens that were nominated. So there were people who actually went out and try to, crash and bash through a bunch of tokens to figure out which ones were even worthy enough to be nominated. And then there were thousands of people who got together and they went through and it's crowdsourced intelligence. And they came down and said, you know what, ultimately, this is the one that won out in the community. This is the one that was the best of all these tokens, which means that potentially you now have a very solid, potentially long-term income producing asset in your portfolio. No guarantees, right? No guarantees, but potentially you now have utilized a better system of figuring out what token goes into your portfolio than you could ever accomplish simply on your own with this crowdsourced intelligence, because now it's the mastermind principle of thousands of people. And as a result, you've got that token in there, which, yes, it's worth $1,000 right at that moment, but hey, the price could go up, right? Of course, prices can go down too, but you got it for nothing, right? You got it for simply picking it right, and that price could go up, and who knows, that $1,000 that it is worth right now, which might be tempting to you to cash out, but it could be worth more in the future, in the short term, in the short future, in the near future, right? So maybe you don't want to cash it out. Maybe you want to keep it. Maybe you want to start building this big crypto wealth portfolio based off of this crowdsourced intelligence model that's happening through Sosana. So that's the first part. That alone would be very attractive to a lot of people. But here's the part that has people doing backflips and saying, man, let me start really gathering up my money, man, and getting together my top leaders and talking to my family about it and saying this is the one. Because the other part of that I just said that maybe you didn't hear is there is a 1 hour delay from the time that you were given the information of what the winning token is, right, until the time that the $100,000 purchase in this example is made. Which means you now have foreknowledge of something that is about to happen. There is going to be a $100,000 purchase potentially into a small cap token, right? Potential small cap token in 1 hour. And you, and only you, and the other people in Sosana that participate in the voting process, you guys are the only ones who know that. No one else in Sosana knows it. No one else in the world knows it. Just the people that are right here in this community. You know about a huge purchase that's going to happen in 1 hour. Now, people are always saying, man, I wish just once I wish I knew, right? Just once I wish I knew an outcome or something before it happened, right? Just once, man. If I could walk into a casino and know when they're spinning the wheel, the number was going to land on just once in my life, I could position myself in front of that knowledge and I can make a fortune. If I can know the outcome of the Super Bowl, just once in my life, I could position myself in front of that information. I could make a fortune. And here it is that every 2 weeks, you're going to have that just once moment when you're going to have information about something about something's going to happen. Now, again, even in what I'm about to say, I can't guarantee you the effect of the huge purchase it's going to have going into small cap token. I'm not allowed to. It's not that I don't know what I think is going to happen. I'm just not allowed to make a guarantee. I'm going to ask you now to lean on your own discernment and think about what you believe will happen when a big giant purchase comes into a small cap token, what you think that will do to the price. You decide that. But I can tell you this, there are a lot of people, let's say there were 2,000 people or 3,000 people who participated in our voting process at the very beginning. And they all get this information at 7 o'clock about a $100,000 purchase that's going to happen at 8 o'clock. I can tell you that many of those people are going to come to the same conclusion very quickly, and they're going to take the same action very quickly. And that action is going to be they are going to go buy that token. Even if they weren't the winner, they still didn't lose because they were rewarded with this information. And are going to go buy that token in anticipation of a huge purchase that's going to come in 1 hour later. Now, think about that for a moment when we talk about prices, right? And we talk about pressure. If all of a sudden you have thousands of people who are going to buy a token, all pretty much at the same time, they're all trying to get it done in the next 59 minutes, 59 and a half minutes, right? Because they want to get in advance of this big purchase, right? What do you think that might do, right? Potentially to the price of a token. What do you think it might do? You don't have to tell me, you can just write it down, right? I know what I think it might do, right? So, and I know that as it starts doing what I think it might do, it can start to register onto the actual exchanges of a lot of people around the world who have no idea who Sosana is. They also have no idea who token XYZ is, but all of a sudden they do know that on their exchanges has a section that says trending tokens, biggest gainers, all this, however it's called. And they'll be able to see all of a sudden that this token XYZ, for some reason, starting at around 7:01 p.m., has started going up in this incredible curve potentially. And it's increased by 20% in the last 5 minutes, 40% in the last 10 minutes, 200% in the last 30 minutes. And at some point in time, it's going to occur to them, something's going on over there. I don't know what these people clearly know, but clearly they know it and they believe it enough that there's a whole lot of purchases happening in this token and the price is going to the moon. I might want to get in on that. And as all these people start seeing that and they start jumping in, that's more buy pressure, more buy pressure, more buy pressure now as they start jumping in. And again, what do you think that's going to do to the price? And then at 8 o'clock, when all of a sudden, boom, all these people going and buying $100, $200, $300, $500, $800, $1,000, $800, $50, $75, whatever works within their budget. And all of a sudden, boom, $100,000 purchase all at once. What do you think is going to happen then? You guys get it? And we're not talking about once in your lifetime. We're talking about every 2 weeks. So as more and more people start hearing about that, as more and more people start realizing that their entire life, especially in their entire investment life, all they've ever done is try to look for an edge. They've paid coaches, thousands of dollars a month to coach them on how to pick, how to pick better stock picks or how to pick better crypto token picks or better Forex picks. They've paid subscription services. They've joined Telegram groups and paid people. They've done all these kind of things to try to find the edge. And now all of a sudden, there's a token project called Sosana where every 2 weeks they give you the edge. They let you know, and the whole community know of people know of what's going to happen an hour before it happens. More and more people are going to join Sosana. They're going to grab at least $50 worth of Sosana. Some of them a lot more, right? Because it's going to occur to them. But if everybody's excited about this process, and they're all going to keep buying Sosana and joining Sosana so they can participate, what do you think is going to start happening potentially? Again, I'm using that word, to the price of Sosana. So, maybe I don't just want $50 worth of Sosana. Maybe I want 100. Maybe I want 1,000. Maybe I want 10,000. Because whatever I get of Sosana, it sounds like if more and more people are jumping into it and placing more and more buy pressure, but the people in Sosana have a real significant reason to want to hold, and the market is always looking for equilibrium, the market will say, okay, more buyers than sellers. Those sellers don't seem to want to sell at this level. I guess we got to keep escalating the price to tempt some of those sellers. My value in my portfolio, just my Sosana portfolio value, that can continue to go up as well, right? Again, we got to use words like potentially, we think, we believe, but you guys are probably starting to get the picture. So now you take that and you fast forward that 3 months. 6 months of every 2 weeks, people getting this information every 2 weeks, giving some token, a moonshot every 2 weeks, more and more people trying to figure out what's going on, more and more people hearing about Sosana, more and more people hearing about some of these incredible stories of people saying, all I did was get $50 worth of Sosana. I picked the right token. I ended up with $500 of this token. And then, because I got that $500 of this token, and then because of Sosana's model, what happened an hour later was that $500 worth of that token that I had was all of a sudden worth $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. As more and more people start hearing those stories, as they start circulating around social media, as other people hear, hey man, I've been in Sosana for 3 months. I've never picked the right token once. Not even one single time. I mean, I suck at this. Every single time, not only did I not pick the right token, I picked the token that got the least amount of votes. Man, I'm horrible at this, and I still made $40,000 in the last 3 months. Imagine that. As more and more of those stories start circulating, more and more people are going to start joining Sosana. And the next thing you know, because they're joining, because more and more people are coming in and they're buying the tokens and they're doing all these types of things, next thing you know, we're not talking about $100,000 in our DGen voter wallet. We're talking about $1 million. We're talking about $5 million. We're talking about $10 million. You guys think that's impossible? Go look at the 24-hour value of volume for like token number 200 or token number 300. On the cap list. I'm not even going to talk about top tier tokens. I'm not talking about Bitcoin that probably did $6 billion today in transactions. I mean, look at token number 200. And see how token number 200 might have done 50 or 60 million dollars today, and you consider what 1% of that is in a day. $50 million would be $500,000 into the DGen voter wallet in a day. And we're doing this once every 2 weeks. And you tell me that it's ridiculous to think that we might end up with $2, $3, $4, $5 million or more in the DGen voter wallet in a 2-week period of span. And then think about this for a second. When it's not just $3, $4, or $5 million that's in the DGen voter wallet, so now you're going to be told an hour in advance about a $5 million purchase. A $5 million purchase. But also, it's not just a few thousand people now in the community that are voting. It's tens of thousands of people. It's 100,000 people. Can you imagine what 100,000 people who know about something an hour before it happens, who know that a $5 million purchase is going to happen into a token an hour ahead of time, and 100,000 people with that information decide they want to get in front of that information. Let's say if the 100,000 people just themselves went out and bought, I don't know, $100 each of that token. That's $10 million worth of purchases of a token in $100 increments. $10 million worth of a token in $100 increments in a 1 hour span, followed by a $5 million purchase at once. You guys starting to get the picture? You starting to understand why people are so fired up and excited about Sosana? Listen, I cannot tell you guys, man, if I seem calm to you, it's not calm right now. It's relaxed intensity. It is. I've been on, I don't know, 11 webinars today. I mean, it's been a crazy day of getting this information out to people and seeing the light bulb, go on above people's heads, seeing people's eyes light up when they really realize what we're saying when we say that you're going to get this information at 7 o'clock and the purchase doesn't happen until 8 o'clock. Do what you like in that 1 hour with that information in that 1 hour span, and people realizing that this is not just the thing that they've been looking for. This is the thing that they've dreamed about. And guys, I'm telling you right now, just knowing that's what's coming, right? Knowing that we're launching the token here again on Wednesday. For those of you who may have missed the very beginning of the call, David Track let us know today that the audit company reached out to him today and said they will actually start the audit on our contract on Wednesday morning. And because it is a relatively simple contract, this will be they don't anticipate this being a lengthy process. The moment that they come back and give us the green light, the thumbs up, whatever, Dave's going to go into the Telegram group and let everybody know, hey, audited, thumbs up, here's the launch date. And I know Dave, he'll probably want to launch that night. We're not gonna do that to you. For those of you who are just getting here, it would be great if we give you a 24 to 48 hours notice to make sure you guys can kind of stack up and line it up. But launch is imminent. And there are so many people that are fired up and excited about this and who are making it a focal point for their groups and their teams and their communities. And we appreciate that. And man, we're so grateful for the trust and belief that you put in us. That is awesome. And we're going to do everything we can do to make sure that it is completely justified. And this ranks later on in your life. You look back at this and it ranks as a really good business decision for you. But that said, man, I'm telling you right now, we're expecting an explosion. And then the people who really get it, because I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to be some tough moments, man. It's going to be some tough moments, man. If you get in real early and you get a token at a really low price, you see the token shoot up, and then and for those of you who've never been around crypto before, there's always this thing, right, where the token shoots up and then it hits that magical price where, in people's minds, the temptation is like, I gotta do it. Got to do it, man. I gotta take out some profits. I don't know. And then so you always see a little bit of a retrace. And, because people see some other people retracing, some other people jump in and say, I don't know, man, maybe it's going back down. And so you always see a little bit of like a retrace, and then, but then the people who are the biggest holders and who really get it, they're like, nope, I'm holding. And then you see this, right? Then it kind of goes like this, and then it does that, right? It's going to be interesting to see how people react to that. We're kind of interested in it, man. To us, it's kind of funny, about what this is going to look like, and when we're going to see some of the people like get, do their thing, and then other people who are going to be smart about it, do their thing, and what this is going to mean to people long term. But guys, this is going to be a lot of fun, man. And again, as we have spent so much time talking about the DGen voter system, the thing that's so interesting to me is it's so tip of the iceberg, man. We know that the thing that's going to really make this go and grow is not just that. That is a huge thing, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are people who they may never understand anything more about Sosana than the DGen voting system. And if that is all they ever understand, that would be enough to actually take this, in our opinion, to a multi-billion-dollar market cap. We get that. But Dave is spending so much time, doing all these other elements that are going to go into the affiliate program that will really be designed to increase and continuously increase and turn up the volume with engagement. It's crazy, man. And I talked just then about what we're going to do with the DGen voter wallet. I mentioned to you before that we have a marketing wallet, which will be split into two. A 0.5% for marketing. The other 0.5% is going to be for a voting process that will happen similar to that. But it's going to happen once a month instead of every 2 weeks, and it's going to be about pre-launch tokens. So I'm not going to go into that whole process. You guys can all go read the light paper on that, but understand something. I mean, if your goal is to hear about projects and potentially get in with them and know about them at the earliest possible time, because you want to get the lowest possible price, there is no earlier time than pre-launch. Right. So we'll have vetted KYC pre-launch projects that we'll have the ability to vote on as well. And again, there'll be a reward system and reward mechanism in that as well, where you guys will be able to hear about these pre-launch tokens when they're actually going to be launching, and then be able to get in on that information as well after the community has vetted these projects to come up with what they believe are the best ones. And when it goes from just thousands of people to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people collectively coming in and vetting these projects and collectively deciding this is the best project. This is the best project. This is the best project. Guys, you are tilting, the edge in your direction so severely that, again, we can't guarantee you're going to win. Man, you have to win, right? I mean, it's like, I can't guarantee it, but I mean, you are doing something. If you can't win when you got 100,000 teammates, you know what I mean? It's wow. The game can't be that hard. That's all I'm going to say. So we are excited about that part. And I'll tell you guys, this affiliate program, it's like multiple nuclear explosions, right? We're gonna have a nuclear explosion here, hopefully in the next several days, with the launch of the token, and then we're gonna have an incredible amount of ramp up and excitement that's gonna come out of that because of all the stories. You're gonna see tons and tons of people calling you up. A lot of you guys are gonna get excited when people you haven't talked to in forever are gonna hit you on Facebook. or I hit you on your social media, Facebook, I said, right? So for all the people over the age of 25 on the call, maybe maybe over the age of 30, your friends will be hitting you on Facebook. For all of you under the age of 30, your friends will be hitting you on TikTok or Instagram, whatever. But the point is, you're going to have people hit you up that you haven't talked to in years. And they're going to say, I know we haven't talked in a while, man, but I just got involved in something. I'm so fired up and excited about it. What do you know about Sosana? And you're going to start laughing, because that's when you're going to know. That's when you're going to know that it's caught on. I was involved in a project before where I was actually part of the project team. And the most exciting moment for me was when somebody that I hadn't talked to since high school, hit me up on social media and asked me if I had heard about this project, and it was my project. That was awesome, right? That's when I knew that we made it, right? And I'm telling you, it's going to happen to you guys here in Sosana. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to have a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, some tears of joy. We would expect, as you realize just how big this is and how big it's going to get, because the vision here is even way bigger than just that DGen voter system. And it's going to continue to get big, but then there's going to be so many other things that we're going to do to, again, encourage constant engagement, encourage people to want to hold on to their tokens, and really use it as a wealth building strategy for them, et cetera, that you're going to have a lot of people coming on board, getting some nice allotments of tokens. They're going to want to hold those tokens. You're going to have a lot of people that want to buy those tokens. You're going to have positive buy pressure all the time. And this is going to be potentially a very, very fast moving and fast rising asset for you that you can treat as such, as opposed to just a quick pump and dump thing or whatever, but really something that you're going to want to get your hands on. And I hope, I know there's always going to be some pump and dump people that, especially in the beginning. God bless you. You're welcome. Come on here. As you're dumping, there'll be a lot of other people that are going to want to grab your tokens anyway, man. So if you guys trying to come in and get a quick hit, whatever you want to do, I just personally believe you'll regret it. But again, you all got to do the strategies that make the most sense to yourself, for you and your families. But there's gonna be a lot of people wanting to snatch those tokens up, because we're getting calls every single day from people saying, how can I get more tokens? Like, what's the best strategy, man? Should I do it with 2 fingers or all 10 of my fingers when a contract is released, or do I get if I supercharge my computer, will that actually work better for me? And should I go to the high mountains and get a better signal? It's crazy the types of questions we're getting, because people don't want to miss it. And that's how I know people are excited. And we are excited about it as well. So, man, listen, guys, let me see. First of all, I got my man Keith Lacey on here for a second. Keith, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you to unmute, man. If you want to, that's great. And if you can, let me know if you want to pop on, you want to say anything, and that would be awesome, man. And then we'll see if the professor's on as well. Keith, I think you're unmuted there, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Would you like to turn on your camera or not? It's your choice. I know you might not.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, go
you
right
want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, turn me on. You're good.
So go ahead. You can turn yourself on right now.
Okay, I did already. Let's do it again. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
Awesome, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I'd love to hear your perspective on what's going on, because listen, you got one of the best stories of ever, not one of the, you actually have the best story. Let's not sugarcoat it. You actually have the best story of anybody involved in this project. You're in I don't want to say privileged position, because privilege almost would sound like you didn't earn it. And it's not privilege. It's not that you were born with the Sosana platinum spoon in your mouth. You simply saw it, you seized it, and now you were set up probably better, not probably, but definitely better than anybody else in the project. Of what's going to happen, man. How are you feeling, man? And what do you want to share with the people? Because again, there's always people who are just brand new and don't know, right? Around. What do you want to share with them?
Yes, sir. Well, for one, you've done a great job tonight, brother. Amazing speaker, that's for sure, no doubt about it. Yeah, I was blessed to be for sure involved and just to know Mark. And as I've shared in the Telegram group on many occasions, the people who are seeing this now versus the hundreds of thousands that will see this opportunity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, they'll be hearing about Sosana for the first time, because everybody just can't hear about it all at once. It takes word of mouth, and we're highly blessed to know about this and to hear about it right now. So it's just phenomenal. Yeah, I was at a good spot. I personally, I've known Mark for 3 years now, and we've become good buddies, and we talk on a regular basis for the last 3 years. We got similar stories. We got the same faith. We talk about our faith a lot. He's got 5 kids. I got 6 kids. His wife's name Valerie. My wife's name's Valerie, and so we have some things in common. But because I know Mark, and I know what kind of man he is, a man of integrity, and for those on the call, that it's always good to hear somebody that knows the owner. That's what I always search for when I finally do get involved with an opportunity. I want to go to the owners. I want to know somebody who knows somebody, and I want to know that owner. I want to hear about him or her. And so that's important to me personally. And I know too many of my buddies actually that they don't care about the meat and potatoes, and they just want to jump quick into something, and things don't go too good for a lot of people by doing that like that. But because I knew Mark, I went all in. When I say all in, I was just ready to pull the trigger at the first, the beta 1.0 with Sosana back on March 27th. And I believed in the project, so I put, I actually purchased a lot of Sosana that day, and it turned out fantastic. I mean, I don't mind telling my story. There's nothing illegal about that, and I'm not trying to entice nobody. I'm just simply telling somebody what I did. I purchased $3,900 worth of Sosana on March 27th, and on April the 12th, I just happened to take a screenshot of my wallet balance. And I was well over a quarter of $250 million. I wish it was a billion, $250 million. Yeah. Right. But now the second launch, we're smelling a little more profits here, because as you know, Brian, we only had about 200 holders in beta the 1.0, and we have thousands of people lined up now. And just remember, I would be, you may know the answer, Mark may know the answer, but I would be willing to guess that we only had about 40 buyers on day one of the launch, of our first launch, probably maybe 40 buyers. We had a total of 181, less than 200 by the time 4 weeks come around. But I don't know. I'm just saying, I know this time, whatever it was, whether it was 40 or 80 or 100 buyers the first day in the first round, we're going to have thousands with an S buyers the first day here. So for those of you who are thinking and mulling it around, you don't want to, you've got, like Mark said on one of the videos, these guys are they're fully doxxed. They're out in the open. Mark normally comes on and speaks on the webinar, but David Track is open. I've seen all these programs out there. I've seen so many tokens on the market, and I've been somewhat of a degen myself because Mark helped me to be a degen. And I've become a degen a little bit, and I see a lot of projects. I see a lot of these websites, and just for crying out loud, if you guys go to Coin Market Cap and look at the meme coin websites, they're really not too impressive. But some of these companies don't. I mean, they don't have a good website. Some of them don't even hardly have a website. And they're certainly not showing themselves. They don't have AMA calls. They don't have Zoom calls like we're having right now. So this is all important stuff for these guys to believe in their project so much that we're on Zoom calls right now exposing ourselves, because we know what we have. We know the genuineness and the quality of people that surrounded us. And those guys understand that, know that, and they've went to full lengths to make sure everything is on the up and up. And I love it. And I'm excited about it. Can't wait for Sosana 2.0, brother. I'll give it back to you.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that story, man. Because for anybody who hasn't had it, man, I mean, that $3,900 and then taking a snapshot a couple of weeks later, it's over $250,000, man. Yeah. So that's crazy. And again, I like the way you pointed out. We had about 40 buyers on day one.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out if I believe that we'll have 40 buyers here in the first minute or the second minute. I'm not sure if it'll be the first minute or the second minute.
Yeah.
I'll make some side bets with people if they want to bet. We'll bet $1. I was about to say we'll bet one Sosana, but that's too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
But I'll bet $1.
You're right.
First minute, second minute.
I wouldn't take you up on your bet. You would beat me on it, I believe.
Yeah. No doubt.
Wouldn't bet against you.
All right. So what we're gonna do, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up soon, man. I do want to see though. I know I've got the professor on as well, and if you want to start your camera, professor, if you want to do that, you should be able to do that now.
See me? Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Beautiful people. Hey, listen, how about we defer my time? There were a couple questions that came up in the Telegram room. Richard B., he asked a couple questions. One of them we got answered, but one question he had is, will Sosana review all nominations and then pick the best 25 of them, or will they just take the first 25 submitted? How will that work?
Yeah, so we have to take the first 25 that are submitted, and there's going to be some criteria that they'll some general criteria they'll have to go by. But I'm gonna tell you why we have to do that. If we review them, then we are in essence putting our finger on the scale, right? And what we could be accused of is trying to slant people in one direction or the other, right? And one of the things you guys are going to learn about it, I mean, we have huge talks all the time about not only doing anything that's out of integrity, doing anything that could be interpreted as being out of integrity. We sit there with our attorney and we say, hey, what about this? Because and ironically, that exact thing came up in one of our calls. Guys, listen, man, we don't want a bunch of garbage tokens in here, man. Maybe we should review them and pick what we did. And then it was like, but if we do that, aren't we really becoming, the decision makers, or at least some sort of like the influencers or something like that? So the answer is we can't do that, because if we did that, somebody could say, oh, these guys are just slanting it towards the tokens that they like, or maybe they know the owners of some of these projects. Man, we want to make sure that we are just, you know what I mean? Angelic level clean when it comes to any of that. So great question. But we can't do that. We have to, it's the community, man. The community decides, and we're simply going to sit back and be spectators and kind of enjoy the show a little bit.
All right. I've got another question here from Richard B. Also, he says it's not very technical, so he's not sure about this. But will we have enough bandwidth? Let's say 2,000 people, not 40. Let's say 2,000 people are trying to buy Sosana. Will the system be able to support that?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, because it's not about our bandwidth, by the way, in case he wants to know, right? I mean, and that's a good question too, but it's not our server or something like that. And it's just, they're not, yes, there is enough bandwidth, and you consider crypto in general, like on a Solana network, at any given time, there's probably, millions of purchases at this point, because Solana has so many, so many tokens, that millions of purchases that could be happening at the exact same time with different tokens. So yeah, bandwidth is not I wish we could break Solana. I really do. I wish we were like, we got so many people. We broke Solana. Like that would be on the news, like the actual national news or something like that. Sosana breaks Solana, and then we'd all be trillionaires, right? Because everybody, but no, yeah, that's a great question again. And I love that kind of question, because that's the kind of question of a person who says, man, I don't want nothing to go wrong because I want to get in on it. So I love that type of question. But yeah, the bandwidth is there. We'll be fine.
And then I'll just end with this, Brian. As you were going through your sharing, you mentioned several things, and we got some of those things posted in Telegram. I just want folks to be aware of that. So for those of you who have not seen Mark's tutorial on how to swap Solana for Sosana. Everybody needs to watch that and make sure all your folks are watching that. There was a page that was put up a while ago, about 2 weeks ago. It's been updated with that as well. So if you don't know how to set up a Phantom wallet, you don't know how to buy Solana, you need for your folks to know how to set up wallets and buy Solana. There's all of that stuff is right there on one page, including that latest video on how to swap Solana for Sosana. And then Brian was talking about, he said, hey, if you went to CoinMarketCap, so we put that in there, and he said, you know, look at the 200th asset. He didn't know what the 200th asset was.
I still don't know what it is.
Happens to be a meme coin, happens to have a market cap of 200 million.
Okay.
If all of the total token supply, which I know is going to be over 5 years, was in the marketplace, 200 million would mean we'd be at $2.25 a token with all tokens. So we can get it for pennies or nickels or dimes or, you know, so that shows you some of the potential there. That project had $17 million in volume today.
Okay. 17 million?
17 million. Okay. That would have been what, 170,000 in
$170,000 today into the DGen voter wallet.
Yeah.
And we're doing it once every 14 days. So so there you go. Start doing some math, guys, and figuring out how quickly we could be at millions of dollars going into these voter pools. Good information, man. Great information.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you always stepping in, man, and playing team without being asked. You just went and posted stuff, man, and that's the person who, and you're obviously that's why you're the leader that you are, man. So I appreciate you. Appreciate Keith. And guys, listen, I appreciate you hanging with us, man. With this call today. We'll be back tomorrow. And I would just say bring as many people as you can. And for anybody that is new, that anything we said you don't understand, like, this guy professor just jumped on. He said, buy Solana to get Sosana. I don't understand. Guys, get with the person who invited you on. None of this is nearly as complicated as it sounds, right? They can show you some step-by-step instructions on how to get yourself in position. But I want to leave you with, man, is don't miss this. From the bottom of my heart, I really mean that. Don't miss this. Don't find yourself sitting there saying, I was right at the beginning when they were talking about this before they ever launched. And for some reason, I got distracted or I got cold feet, didn't pull the trigger on it, whatever. I wish I would have, man. Don't be that person, because I'm telling you, in a couple of years, people are going to be in one of two categories. I'm glad I did, or I wish I had. Don't be in the latter category. That's all I'm saying. So with that said, thank you guys so much. I know it was hard for my partner Mark to be on here and not talk, because he's got so much knowledge and wisdom and excitement about this. But thanks for hanging in there with us, bro. I appreciate you, man, and hopefully you're feeling better by tomorrow. But guys, we will be back tomorrow at the same time, same link, and we'll have some incredible information for you then as well. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon, or day, depending on where you are around the world, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Thanks, guys.